Hi, I'm Ikea, and I'm here to give you only the tip in this video about loot pools and loot sources. Knowing loot sourcing and loot pools is actually very important. It is actually too long of a subject to kind of tackle in a short as we're trying to do here, but the basics of it we can actually lay out here. For instance, on the side of sources, we have actually multiple sources of loot. So for instance, if it's a normal drop, together with that, then we can have, for instance, a target drop. But then on top of that, some bosses will maybe have another target drop. And then we also have things like specific sourcing. So specific sources are actually very important to understand because when things come from specific source, like for instance, the bighorn from legendary bosses, which in the summit, for instance, means that if you're going for a bighorn, you're better off at floor 10, which has one named, which is a boss. On floor 90, for instance, it's 3 names, but only one of them actually counts as a boss. So you're doing more work to try to get that drop. Also, it isn't coming from a targeted source, so targeted loot actually doesn't matter at all if you're doing that. So even as well, if you're wanting to, for instance, get an eagle bearer or such from the DZ, actually it being AR targeted doesn't matter from it because it's coming from normal source in that case. Together with that, actually, we explain as seen here what some of the rewards from missions and stuff and from activities are and from what sourcing they come from. Then as well, we discuss pools because pools is actually a very in-depth subject, and together with this and looking at the named targeted and exotic targeted guides that I have available as well, we can kind of understand where we can target for some items, where we can't target for them. And also understanding that, for instance, the normal source actually has a different loot pool than the specific and the targeted sources in some cases. So yeah, it is somewhat of a complex subject, but actually one that is important to understand if you're actually trying to get what you're going after. So I would say well worth a read through. And also there is a video version of it as well, of me going through it as a long time ago. And yeah, it is to me a little bit cringy at these points, but it's definitely worth checking out if you want a better understanding of the game.